Hello, Star Wars fans. Jeremiah here. You can call me Jer Bear. And today we're going to talk about the Season 3 finale of Star Wars Rebels. Wow. So we got a lot to talk about today. First, we're going to talk about the main baddie of the series, Grand Admiral Thrawn. He discovers who Fulcrum is, and that is Agent Kallus. He then keeps Kallus prisoner to teach him a lesson. And at the end of the episode, Kallus goes on to escape and joins the rebellion, which is really cool, which finally needed to happen. That story development for Kallus is by far one of my favorite developments in the series, next to Kanan Jarrus. Not only because you don't really get that with anybody else with the side character, but at least with Kanan Jarrus we got a comic and a book that led up to who he is. And this is kind of like the next best thing. The other thing that I wanted to talk about with that, when it came to the actual battle, the invasion of Atollon, was just how beautiful it looked. And that's really weird considering the planetary bombardment that took place. But when you see the image of Hera looking up into the sky and the Star Destroyers are raining down their fire onto their shields, it's beautifully destructive, I guess you could say. Another amazing visual was the actual space battle that went up above, when it was Thrawn against the rebel fleet. As we know, Commander Sato sacrificed himself in this episode to destroy one of the Empire's ships, ultimately making it easier for the rebel fleet to flee. It was that ship, I believe, was developing a gravity well, that way they couldn't escape. So by destroying both of them, they could then run away to fight another day. It was really a bittersweet episode. You got the Atollon base taken away from them, and all hope seems lost. But there's a message at the end of the episode that really makes you look forward to Season 4. So, another thing that was really surprising to me was the fact that Kanan actually went out of his way to try to convince the Bendu to fight for them. Now, that didn't go so well, and he ended up pissing off the Bendu and having him rain down a force storm on both the Empire and the Rebel Alliance. You don't piss off the gray side of the Force, let's just say that. Now, as the end of the battle comes to near and Grand Admiral Thrawn descends into the planet, it becomes a ground invasion, and I thought it was really cool because as he did that, you got the Rogue One cameo that I was expecting. It wasn't exactly what I expected, but it was still awesome. You'll notice that he had a Death Trooper squadron with him as he descended on the planet to weed out the rest of the rebellion and capture its leaders. All around, it was a great episode visually, lots of loss. We get to see a lot of aerial action, and very important, Sabine Wren returns with some of her Mandalorian friends. That was also a cool development. I didn't think that we were going to see Sabine Wren again. I mean, we saw it in the previews. We knew it was going to happen. But when she first left the picture, I didn't anticipate to see her until Season 4. But the writers kind of really built that up well and tying that back into everything. So that was awesome to see. That being said, what does this mean for Mandalore for the rest of Star Wars Rebels? Are we going to be a part of that civil war that's taking place with the Saxon clan and the Wrens? I mean, that'll be a huge segue from what's happening between Phoenix Squadron and the Empire, but it's still a really important part of that point in history, I think. So, even if they don't put that in Star Wars Rebels, it'd be cool to see that in the form of a comic or even a small novel of some sort. They already have New Dawn that shows how Kanan Jarrus joined Hera in the rebellion, so this would also be a nice tie-in. So from the beginning of Season 3, we see Ezra kind of be conflicted with himself and wanting to partake in the ways of the dark side, and you slowly see him come to terms with the fact that that's not the real way. And at the end of Season 3, we really see him come into his own, and he finally accepts the path that he was meant to take, and his gratitude towards Kanan and Jarrus shows a lot in this episode too. Their final conversation about how not only did Kanan help him become the Jedi that he was, he also helped him become the man that he was, and he helped him seek and find a path that he was meant to go to. So, predictions about Season 4? Well, we know from a hint from the Bendu after he was shot out of the sky by the Admiral, that Grand Admiral Thrawn doesn't have a happy future in front of him. We learned that the Bendu looked into the future and saw a cold end to Grand Admiral Thrawn. Now, if that's going to be in Star Wars Rebels is yet to be seen, but it most likely is. Honestly, it is the only scenario that makes sense at this point. Otherwise, they would have to make an entire new series about the Admiral after the Return of the Jedi and how he survived that. Maybe we'll get a new Thrawn trilogy, who knows? But as we talked about in my on the last episode for the Rebels recap, we know that he's not around for the Aftermath trilogy and for the Rise of the First Order, although his influence in creating coordinates and mapping the unknown regions was crucial in the development of The Force Awakens. So, he's going to die at some point, and it's probably going to be in Rebels. It's sad, but he was never meant to be a permanent character. Well, will he stick around for another season? What? I would sure hope so. Another 2 seasons? Maybe. But the fact that Dave Filoni's working on another project probably means that the end of the Admiral will come about in Season 4, and a new project will pick up after that. We do know, however, there are 2 more years into the Battle of Yavin, so we got more than 600 days worth of rebel fighting and development to look forward to. Well, we first got introduced to Saw Gerrera again in Star Wars Rebels a few episodes back, and now we have the Death Troopers, so they really are pushing hard in tying everything, all of the universe in. So I expect Season 4 to make more cameos. Will it be Galen Erso? Will it be Jaina Erso? Will it be Krennic, Orson Krennic? Who knows? But I think it's going to happen, and it's going to be awesome. So a lot of things to look forward to in Season 4. Mandalorian Civil War, a possible Rogue One tie-in, the death of Grand Admiral Thrawn, and who knows what else. I can't wait for the new season next year, or maybe I can't wait for the new season, and even though this is my first recap of an episode on my YouTube channel, there's going to be plenty of more content than just this. There's going to be book reviews, product reviews. I'm going to open up a podcast station for you guys, and there is an awesome series in the works right now that I think you all are going to enjoy, that I'm working with several friends, one of which is also a YouTuber on here. I'm not going to give it away yet, but it's going to be a long, ongoing series. It's probably going to stretch until the end of this year, possibly longer. So look forward to that on this channel, so you'll know there's plenty to come to when you visit the Star Trader. And that about does it for today, guys. Season 3 is over. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you liked it, please give it a big thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe. Be sure to check out my Patreon as well at patreon.com/thestartrader to contribute monthly to future projects on this YouTube channel and my website, thestartrader.net. And with that, may the Force be with you. Thanks for tuning in today. If you liked this video, please give it a big thumbs up. If you're a Star Wars fan, you definitely want to make sure you subscribe. Take the time to visit our Patreon account in the description below to help support the channel and all future projects we have in store. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram to keep up with my day-to-day vices. That's all for today, Star Wars fans. May the Force be with you.